One of the first objects that I want to talk with you about is what we call a projectile point, a weapon. This was the point here on the end of a dart thrown through the air, and this dart was, we might call it like a spear. And this spear was used predominantly to kill deer, white-tailed deer. Through time, all 10,000 years, white-tailed deer were the predominant game source. In fact, they say, what's your protein? Your protein would be deer. And the deer are killed very easily. These were professional hunters. They made this tool from a large block of flint that was a cobble found in the Medina River. And you've seen in other ways how people made stone tools. This projectile point is characteristic of a time period 10,000 years old. Its name is Angostura. And Angostura is a Spanish word that means narrow. And the concept of the point is it's long and it's narrow. So it's a narrow point. This particular point is very diagnostic of a time period about 10,000 years ago. And you can see the base here. This is the part that was hafted on the dart point. This edge is ground, and it's ground very smooth, smooth as a butter knife. And it's ground smooth, so when the twine was wrapped around it, it didn't cut the twine. And it held the point in place. So the hunter had this point, and it was bound, and all that was sticking out of the end of the stick, the end of the spear, was this tip of the point. The point is always sharp, that penetrates the hide. But oftentimes these break. And when they break, they have to be resharpened. They didn't sharpen it like you would sharpen a tool on a whet rock, on a whetstone, but these are sharpened by reflaking, by pushing off tiny flakes. And this particular point, you can see it's beveled. And it's beveled here on the edges because flakes are taken off this edge to sharpen here. And then it's turned over and flakes are taken off this face to sharpen here. And it's a way of constantly resharpening a tool. When we see tools resharpened in this way, we're pretty sure that this tool was at someone's home base. So this was a camp where these tools were perhaps broken in the field, they're brought back to camp and resharpened. We had over a dozen Angostura points, but most of the points were not complete. All we had was the base end from here down, because those points had been broken in the field. They bring the dart shaft back, take out that piece of broken point, and insert a new point. And the next tool I'm going to show you is a tool that's an example of what the original size of this tool may have been before it was resharpened.